This newscast is brought to you by QBird, Pittsburgh's source for LGBTQ plus news and community information. And for further information about QBird, check out their website at qbird.com. That's QBURGH.com. From the Pep Radio Newsroom, these are the stories we are covering at this hour. President Donald Trump on Tuesday announced that the United States will withdraw from the top UN human rights body and will not resume funding for the UN agency helping Palestinian refugees. The U.S. left the Geneva-based Human Rights Council last year, and it stopped funding the agency assisting Palestinian refugees, known as UNRWA, after Israel accused it of harboring Hamas militants who participated in the surprise October 7th attacks in southern Israel, which the UNRWA denies. Trump's announcement came on the day he met with visiting Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, whose country, Israel, has long accused both the human rights body and UNRWA of bias against Israel and anti-Semitism. Trump's executive order also calls for a review of American involvement in the Paris-based UN Educational, Scientific, and Cultural Organization, known as UNESCO, and a review of U.S. funding for the United Nations in light of, quote, the wild disparities in levels of funding among different countries. The United States, the world's largest economy, pays 22% of the UN's regular operating budget, with China the second largest contributor. I've always felt that the UN has tremendous potential, Trump told reporters in the Oval Office. It's not living up to that potential right now. They've got to get their act together. He said the UN needs to be fair to countries that deserve fairness, adding that there are some countries, which he didn't name, that are outliers that are very bad, and they're being almost preferred. Before Trump's announcement, UN spokesman Stéphane Dujarric reiterated the Human Rights Council's importance and UNRWA's work in delivering critical services to Palestinians. Trump also pulled the U.S. out of the Human Rights Council in June of 2018. His ambassador to the UN at the time, Nikki Haley, accused the council of chronic bias against Israel and pointed to what she said were human rights abusers among its members. Now this news about companies that keep their DEI initiatives. While numerous larger companies have recently caved to right-wing pressure to drop their diversity, equity, inclusion efforts, better known as DEI, new data suggests that fewer consumers support companies that do so. In fact, the data also suggests companies that keep DEI commitments may find a financial benefit in doing so. A recent poll by the business research company Morning Consult found that between July and late November of 2024, support for companies that reduce their DEI influence dropped 6 points. Support for companies ending DEI programs entirely dropped 4 points. And support for companies decreasing DEI funding dropped 5 points. Hunter Johnson is the CEO of Expedition, an entertainment and marketing agency that is a member of the National Gay and Lesbian Chamber of Commerce and has a 30% LGBTQ plus workforce. He wrote the following in a statement: market research about DEI paints a clear picture. Regardless of which political party wins in any given election, the American population is becoming more diverse and wants corporate America to reflect this diversity. Incidentally, companies like Apple, Cisco, Delta, ELF Beauty, Goldman Sachs, JP Morgan Chase, Microsoft, Pinterest, and Salesforce have all quietly kept their own DEI initiatives, according to Forbes magazine. Recent studies have shown that the number of companies committed to LGBTQ plus inclusion is actually growing, and a large number of advertising executives remain committed to LGBTQ plus representation. According to recent data from the Human Rights Campaign, 80.1% of LGBTQ plus adults said that they would boycott a company that rolled back DEI measures, with 75.7% of LGBTQ plus adults having a less favorable view of such a company. Additionally, over half, at 52.5%, said they would try to get others to join the boycott, and similar numbers would remove any profile, credit card, or app they had with the company. Nearly 28% of respondents said they would join a protest or sign a petition against the company. That's the news for this hour. Be sure to download the Live 365 app to take Pep Radio with you wherever you go. If you're watching this video on YouTube, be sure to click the subscribe button. Coming up next, we have more music on Pep Radio.